The NHL is great with providing its fans with feel-good moments, like when the St. Louis Blues rallied around Lila and made her such a big part of the run to the 2019 Stanley Cup. Another example is just last week when David Ayres became the first emergency backup goaltender to win a game in NHL history, and for the entire week he was the talk of the hockey world. I really could go on and on. There are numerous examples, and just last night something happened that really inspired me to make this video. So without wasting any more time, here are 5 of the best feel-good moments in NHL history. And if you guys do want to see more NHL content like this, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a video. Bryan Bickell was never a star in the NHL, playing just 395 career games and tallying 136 total points. For the most part, Bryan Bickell was known as a physical presence in the bottom 6 that could chip in some offense here and there. But when the playoffs came around, he was definitely a player that you'd want to have on your team. Bickell was a key member in the Stanley Cup winning Chicago Blackhawks teams in 2010, 2013, and in 2014. Especially in 2013 when Bryan Bickell was one of the better Blackhawks throughout the playoffs, putting up 17 points in 23 games. After the 2014 NHL season, Bryan Bickell's health really started to give him some issues. He began experiencing symptoms of vertigo that forced him to miss 2 games during the 2015 Stanley Cup Finals. In November of 2016, Bickell began experiencing unexplained pain in his shoulder and leg that caused him to miss multiple games. Doctors later diagnosed Bickell with multiple sclerosis. During the 2016-17 season with the Carolina Hurricanes, Bryan Bickell missed a good amount of time due to MS, but would eventually make a return towards the end of the year. Upon returning at the age of 30 years old, Bryan Bickell announced that the 2016-17 season would be his last, and he was forced to retire due to his condition. But that didn't stop Bryan Bickell from going out with a bang, as in Bryan Bickell's final NHL game on April 9th against the Philadelphia Flyers, it was headed to a shootout, and Bryan Bickell was chosen to shoot first for the Carolina Hurricanes. Like I mentioned earlier, Bryan Bickell was never really known as an offensive juggernaut and only had 1 career shootout attempt before this in which he missed. But on this night, Bryan Bickell was not going to be denied, as he skated down confidently and ripped a snapshot past Flyers goaltender Anthony Stolarz and gave the Carolina Hurricanes the 1-0 lead in the shootout. This was an amazing moment, and you could just see the joy on Bryan Bickell's face and the joy on his teammates' face. Everyone was super happy for him. Obviously, I can't show NHL clips in my videos, but I will link everything I talk about down in the description below, so if you guys have not seen his shootout goal in his final game, I definitely recommend you go watch it. It certainly was a great send-off for a rather unfortunate end to his career. Mario Lemieux is widely regarded as the second best NHL player of all time, only behind Wayne Gretzky, and a lot of people, rightfully so, believe he should be number 1. Lemieux has the second best points per game average in NHL history, as throughout his career he averaged 1.883 points per game, which is pretty ridiculous if you think about it. The 1992-93 season was going fantastic for Lemieux and the Penguins. Mario was on pace to challenge Gretzky's records of 92 goals in one season and 215 points in one season. That is until January 12th of 1993 when he made the shocking announcement that he had been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Lemieux was forced to undergo energy-draining aggressive radiation treatments, leaving his career in doubt. He missed 2 months of play, and of course without him the Penguins struggled. And on Mario Lemieux's final day of radiation treatment, he flew to Philadelphia to play against the Flyers, where he went on to score a goal and add an assist in a 5-4 loss. With Mario back in the lineup, the Pittsburgh Penguins went on to win an NHL record of 17 consecutive games and finish first overall in the entire league. Lemieux finished the season with a ridiculous 2.67 points per game, which is the 3rd highest points per game in a single season, only behind Wayne Gretzky, who had a season with 2.77 points per game and 2.69 points per game. Had Lemieux not been forced to miss a couple of months, he would have finished the season with well over 200 points, and it is really just an inspiring story how he was not only able to beat cancer, but return and compete at such a high level, like he never missed a beat. Throughout the 1990s, Vladimir Konstantinov was an intimidating presence for the Detroit Red Wings, racking up a total of 838 penalty minutes from 1991 to 1997. He was also more than capable of chipping in some offense here and there, and overall was a pretty important part to the team. Following the 1997 Stanley Cup victory, Konstantinov was out for a day of golfing with the Stanley Cup, and hired a limousine driver to drive him and fellow Russians home. Unfortunately, the limousine was in a very bad crash, and Konstantinov was left in a coma for weeks and suffered from severe head injuries and paralysis, putting an abrupt end to Konstantinov's playing career. But the Red Wings still recognized Konstantinov as a member of the team, and after the Red Wings successfully once again won the Stanley Cup in 1998, Konstantinov was brought onto the ice in a wheelchair surrounded by his teammates to celebrate the win. Even though Konstantinov never played another game for the Red Wings after the crash, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman still allowed him to have his name once again engraved on the Stanley Cup following the Red Wings' 1998 victory. Once again, I will link a video of this down in the description below. If you guys have never seen it, I definitely recommend you go watch it because it is a pretty amazing sight. Brian Boyle has definitely had a pretty interesting NHL career, playing in the league from 2007 all the way up until today, where he's a current member of the Florida Panthers. Throughout his time in the NHL, Brian Boyle has played for 7 different teams: the LA Kings, the New York Rangers, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Maple Leafs, the Devils, the Predators, and obviously currently the Panthers. After his stint with the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2016-17, it was announced that Brian Boyle was in a battle with leukemia, and as an unrestricted free agent on July 1st of 2017, Boyle signed a 2-year, $5.1 million contract with the New Jersey Devils. On November 1st of 2017, Boyle played in his first game since his diagnosis of leukemia, also his first game with the Devils. And then on November 9th, Brian Boyle would score his first goal as a member of the Devils, as well as his first goal. After the goal, Brian Boyle said, "I've never cried after a goal before. That's a great feeling. It's everything." And as if that wasn't inspiring enough, the following year, on November 5th, Brian Boyle notched his first career hat trick. That night happened to be Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Boyle returning to the NHL after winning his battle against cancer is a great story in itself, but the hat trick on Hockey Fights Cancer Night of all nights is really just the cherry on top. And finally, to finish out the video, we have what actually inspired me to make the video. What a night it was last night for Bobby Ryan of the Ottawa Senators. Bobby Ryan is the former 2nd overall pick in the 2005 NHL draft by the Anaheim Ducks. He's also a 4-time 30-goal scorer. Those happened in consecutive seasons with the Ducks from 2008 to 2012. On July 5th of 2013, Bobby Ryan was dealt to the Ottawa Senators, and shortly after that, he signed a 7-year, $50.75 million contract extension with Ottawa. That contract is now looked at as one of the worst in the entire NHL. Bobby Ryan was never able to become that 30-goal scorer with Ottawa that he was for the Anaheim Ducks. And earlier this season, it came out that Bobby Ryan was attending the NHL Player Assistance Program for alcohol abuse. He missed approximately 2 months of this season before returning to action on February 25th in an away game against the Nashville Predators. And last night, which was Bobby Ryan's first home game post-rehab, it was cool to just see him on the ice, but it was even cooler that he went on to score a hat-trick and the Ottawa Senators beat the Vancouver Canucks a final score of 5-2. It was an extremely emotional night for Bobby, and after the hat-trick, the camera panned to Bobby Ryan on the bench and the crowd began chanting Bobby. It was a pretty incredible scene. And overall, just a great feel-good story, and I'm happy for Bobby Ryan that he was able to overcome his addiction to alcohol and is now sober and back to playing in the National Hockey League. And hopefully for the Ottawa Senators and for Bobby Ryan, he can build off this and have a strong finish to the season. So that is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. I know it definitely would have been a lot better if I was able to include the clips in the video, but I can't. The NHL is pretty strict about that, so I will link them all down below in the description. If you guys have not yet seen them, I definitely recommend you check them out. And if you do have any other video suggestions for me, make sure to let me know down in the comment section below. I'm always open to hearing new ideas. And if you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure to go down there and drop a like on it. That's the best way to show your support. And if you guys have not already, make sure to click that subscribe button. The support on the channel lately has been insane. We're super close to 30,000. Tomorrow I'm going to be uploading the second episode of 15 random facts about the NHL, so I'm pretty excited for that, and make sure you guys go check that out tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.